Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The New York Rangers defeat the New Jersey Devils 5-3. The Rangers extend their point streak to 11 games. They're 10-0-1 in the last 11 games. This was a very satisfying victory. So, Artemi Panarin, he is back to Hart Trophy levels, which is where we saw him earlier in his Ranger career. And that's where he's at to this point. He extends his season opening point streak to 15 games, which breaks Roger Gobert's Ranger record. And the last player from the Rangers to have a 15-game point streak was Wayne Gretzky in his first season as a Blues shirt in the 1996-1997 season. So Panarin gets 2 big goals tonight, and Jimmy Vesey, the former New Jersey Devil, he scores 2 goals as well. Igor Shesterkin returned and was very rusty. Did not have a strong first period. Gave up 2 weak goals, but got a lot better as the game went on and made some really big saves, especially when the Rangers were down 3-2 in the third. And so that's kind of the thing, too, is the Rangers they've been trailing a lot, like in third periods, where maybe the score will be tied going into the third. The Rangers give up an early third period goal, or, so it's not so much trailing end of 2. A lot of it is just simply trailing in the third period at some point in time, and the Rangers finding a way to, in most cases, win the game. The Rangers' record is 12-1, which is insane. So, and it's a lot of the same players performing well. We'll talk about maybe a player or two where things have maybe changed from not so good to better. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, the Panarins continue to do well. Vincent Trocheck was great tonight. Had 3 assists. He has really been the best Rangers center the entire season. Mika Zibanejad continues to struggle. And again, I will give him a ton of credit in terms of, like, defensively. Like, you can't forget about that. But the production really isn't there offensively at all. Same for Capo Caco. And for him, he's on a line where it's going to be tougher to produce, but he was, you look at Zibanejad and Kreider to a lesser extent, although Kreider, has 10 goals in the season, so not going to make a huge deal on him, even though I know a lot of that production's on the power play. But, there's certain players that continue to kind of struggle, but it's amazing. No Adam Fox, who it does sound like Adam Fox will be back close to when he's first eligible. So he's not eligible to come back until about a week and a half from now, but it does sound like he is making pretty good progress. On the other hand, Philip Hedl, with that concussion, he's still not skating, so I'm a little bit worried about his status, and it's too bad. This guy has dealt with so many concussions. But the point I'm trying to make is it's incredible that the Rangers have had injuries, key injuries, and yet they're still winning. Devils on the flip side, they get Jack Hughes back tonight, which is, Jack Hughes is so good and such a difference maker. And they were still without Nico Hischier, still without Timo Meier. There were a couple of in-game injuries. Jacob Trouba is just the best in the game at these really, really big-time hits. And they're clean. And look, this isn't me being a homer because, look, I'm not the biggest Jacob Trouba fan, although I will say I like his game this year. I do. It's been pretty simple, not turning the puck over too much. I actually like what he's brought to the table, but these really are clean hits. And so Trouba, takes Thomas Nosek out of the game, and the Devils came into the game with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. So at that point, it was 10-7. And then at one point as well, might have been Alexander Holtz that left the game. He might have returned, though I'm not so sure, but certainly in the case of Nosek, he was out. He only played 2 minutes and 55 seconds on the night. So the Devils were a bit shorthanded. But again, going back to my point, the Devils have struggled with some of these key injuries, and the Rangers have thrived. It's really great to see. And this was a big game. Rangers really haven't had that many rivalry games so far this season at all. The only one that I could even come close to was Carolina. And, that's not a local rival. That's kind of a newfound rival to an extent. But New Jersey is a bona fide. Look, the fact that the Rangers got eliminated by them last year, this was like the first really sort of big game, big divisional game this year. and they delivered. The Rangers played well. So, it was a bit of a chippy game, but more physicality came from the Rangers. Again, the Rangers are earning these wins. It's not like maybe in years past where, Igor stands on his head and, you look at the underlying stats and the Rangers got lucky. They are really playing a good brand of hockey. And, let's jump into it. So, Igor returns. Jonathan Quick backs up. And like I said, Igor was really rusty to start. It was a bad first period for him. No doubt about it. Vitek Vanacek in net for the Devils. Keep in mind, New Jersey won their last game at Pittsburgh. So the Devils, who, really had been struggling before that game, get a much-needed win in division on the road. And so they're coming in, probably feeling good and getting Jack Hughes back. So, and I'm happy that Hughes played. Because, look, if the Rangers won and Jack Hughes didn't play, it's like, no Jack Hughes. Now, again, the rebuttal to that would be, hey, no Adam Fox. But, it feels like a cleaner win with the Devils' best player being in the lineup. But there's an early-ish penalty, and the shots throughout the game were fairly even. This was a well-played game. I think the Rangers were the better team, but it was pretty close. Alexander Holtz at 7:22 trips Tyler Pitlick, and I think Tyler Pitlick has done a nice job in that fourth line. He has been, if nothing else, serviceable. I haven't noticed any really major mistakes. I like what he's brought, and tonight especially so. Drawing this penalty, he had an assist. He was a +2. Pitlick is, I would leave him on that fourth line, and I think he deserves that. But anyway, Rangers get a power play and they score on it. And, again, this power play has been lethal. And it's Artemi Panarin. So with that goal, it's his 9th goal of the season. He extends that point streak to 15 games on the season to start the season, which is insane. Assisted by Trocheck and Gustafsson. So Trocheck with a beautiful pass, and Gustafsson has just been a bargain signing. Now, I think that he's playing so well that, the chances of Eric Gustafsson, I'm sure there's got to be interest in the Rangers to bring him back, but the cap situation's tight. I think, unfortunately, it's one of those situations where it's a one-and-done year with the Rangers for Gustafsson, but the way he's playing, he will earn a nice contract next year, but probably not from us. Maybe I'm wrong. All I know is I really like how he's played. So the Rangers take a 1-0 lead, then only 48 seconds after, Jack Hughes ties it up. Really bad goal by Igor, and we'll talk about it. Hughes, his 6th goal of the season from Hamilton and Siegenthaler. And this was a play where Hughes takes an innocent wrist shot, and it ends up trickling by Igor and in. Now, the interesting thing is the whistle blew before the puck crossed the line, but I guess the rule must be in that situation that, the whistle didn't really impact the play. So I thought that was the right, call. I think that was fair for it to be a Devil goal, in my opinion. Because the whistle blew after it was kind of trickling by Igor. If they didn't count that goal, if you're a Devil fan, you're pretty red hot. And I kind of understand why. So, with that all being said, I can see the Rangers being in that exact situation and them saying no goal. But that's just, me being a fan. And, but anyway, that ties it up in 1. But the Rangers stick with it. And at 14-11, Jimmy Vesey, who was, on the Devils a couple of years ago, scores his 2nd goal of the season from Schneider and Jones. So Jimmy Vesey with a nice job where it's a shot by Schneider, and Vesey kind of bangs home the loose change, in front of the net. And I want to talk about Zach Jones. Zach Jones is looking a little bit better lately, and Schneider as well. But Zach Jones, I think, doesn't. He's been showing some patience against teams like New Jersey. He can have some success. It's the more physical, bigger body teams that might give him a really hard time. But I like it's been better for Zach Jones lately, and he deserves to stay in the lineup. Connor Mackey continues to be that defensive healthy scratch. But yeah, so that makes it 2-1 Rangers. But then Vincent Trocheck is called for cross-checking. He cross-checks Jack Hughes at 18-14. So Trocheck, while He's been really good. Again, the penalties are a thing for him, but that, what? Look, his aggressiveness is a major reason why the Rangers won this game. So look, that comes with it. Then that's all right. But the Devils do score on the power play. And another weak goal by Igor. And it's Andre Palat, who's just an absolute Ranger killer. It's his first goal of the season from Bratt and Toffoli. Igor gets a piece of it, but it's one he wants to have back. And so, it's 2-2 end of one. Now, I should mention that within that first period, I think it was before the Vesey goal. Before the Vesey goal, you had Jacob Trouba had that big hit on Nosek. And, it's got to be frustrating for the opposing team because there's nothing you can really do about it. You just got to keep your head up. But anyway, we go to the second period. And in the second, I think is where there was a Ryan Lindgren got hit by, who was it? Which Devil hit him? It's escaping me right now. It could have been Dawson Mercer, but no, maybe Curtis Lazar. Either way, Lindgren gets hit high. Might have been Lazar. No, sorry, I got it. Third time's a charm. It was Michael McLeod. He looked like that was a bit of a high hit. A shoulder to the head, and and it got reviewed, no penalty. I mean, that should have at least been a minor penalty. So Lindgren, who you worry about that, and he did look a little bit woozy, but he ended up finishing it out and was all right. But didn't love that whole situation in terms of Lindgren and the result of the play. But anyway, Rangers do get a power play. Panarin draws a power play towards the end of the second. At 17:55, Mercer trips Panarin, but the Rangers don't score. So it's tie going into the third period. And early in the third, Eric Haula scores at 1:17, his sixth goal of the season from Hughes and Hamilton. So Haula in front of the net. This puck, it was a play that was fanned on by Jack Hughes, and it kind of goes over to Haula in front. He makes a nice goal on a backhand. And it kind of goes past Trocheck mainly, but also Lindgren and Gustafsson were in the vicinity. Kind of bad luck, and the Devils take a 3-2 lead. But there's a too many men on the ice penalty on the Devils at 6:32, but they kill it off. So the Rangers power play, goes 1 for 3, which is nothing to be ashamed of. But in some key spots, they don't come through. Devils penalty kill is good. But the Rangers tied up at 11:04, and it's Artemi Panarin. His 10th goal of the season, second goal of the night, assisted by Vincent Trocheck. So again, Artemi Panarin, 10 goals and 16 assists? I just want to make sure that's correct. 10 goals and 16 assists, 26 points in 15 games. Just ridiculous from Panarin. But this was a face-off win by Trocheck, kind of. And Hughes kind of skates over the puck. He doesn't really get it or retrieve it, and so Panarin's able to fire it quickly past Vanacek. This was similar to a play that happened not too far before that, where Zibanejad in a similar position rings it off the crossbar. Panarin is doing such a good job of just shooting the puck. It's making a world of difference, and that ties it up at 3. And then at 17:11, the Rangers take the lead. They make it 4-3. Jimmy Vesey scores again. Second goal of the night, third goal of the season from Pitlick and Trocheck. Let's talk about this goal. It starts with Zach Jones. Patience. Zach Jones kind of waited it out, finds Trocheck, who was staying on late for a shift. So he's probably a little bit tired, but give Trocheck credit. He sees open ice in the middle of the ice and skates directly to it. That is a play that he is energetic. Vincent Trocheck is, when he's playing his game, he's a different type of player. That's why I originally liked the addition. To go from Ryan Strome to Vincent Trocheck. He can do a little bit of everything, but there's a high motor to his game. And so he takes that part of the ice, wins it, gets it to Pitlick, who takes the shot, but then Jimmy Vesey on the rebound, again, Vesey right place, right time again, with kind of a no-look backhand shot. He wasn't facing the net, but Vanacek wasn't, in position to make the stop, and Vesey scores. So that makes it 4-3, and the Rangers do a nice job, protecting the house And with about a minute and a half left, Blake Wheeler scores an empty net goal, his second goal of the season, gives the Rangers a 5-3 lead. They win by that 5-3 score. Again, a very satisfying Ranger win against the Devils, to win it in regulation, to win it at the Prudential Center, which is where their season ended last year. And for Igor to work through it, because Igor, when they went down 3-2 especially, made some really key saves to keep it a 1-goal deficit. The Rangers are finding ways to win. And so now they're 12-2-1. They extend that point streak to 10-0-1. I think their last 11-game point streak might have been in the 2015 season, which was the year where they won the President's Trophy. I believe that was the case. But now they head to Dallas. And Dallas, a good team. Dallas Stars, they did lose tonight to Colorado at home. But that game will be at Dallas. And the Stars are 11-4-1. So this will be a good test. And let me just check if they have any, their home away records. Yeah, Dallas, it's funny. They're actually not, they're really good on the road. They're only 4-3 at home. Not that that means a whole lot, but this is, I suspect that this will be a difficult one, but the Rangers have had success. When I think about, Rangers versus the Stars, especially at Dallas, the Rangers seem to have played well there in recent years. So hopefully that continues, but this was the first of a 4-game road trip. Again, the schedule makers, it's weird, you go from New Jersey to one game at Dallas and then back east to play Philly. Sorry, not a 4-game road trip. It is a 3-game road trip. No, sorry, it is a 4-game road trip. They go to Dallas, then they go to Pittsburgh, then Philly, then they come home to play Boston. So just weird, how it's just a one-off sort of, I know this is Central Time Zone, but still. But either way, they go to Dallas Monday, and then Thanksgiving Eve, they'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh, and then Black Friday, they'll have a game in Philly, and then a matinee Saturday game at the Garden versus the Bruins. So, some fun, some interesting games coming up here. Maybe Dallas, not so much because it's another Western Conference game, but this is the Dallas Stars, based on point percentage, are in basically in top 5 in the NHL. So it'll be a good test. But Artemi Panarin continues his absolute mastery. And this was someone who I was so critical of, and he still has a lot to answer to in the playoffs. That doesn't go away. It does not go away. But for him to do this, for what he's already done this season, and against New Jersey specifically, was great. And then Jimmy Vesey to get contributions from the fourth line from Vesey. Awesome. Shesterkin back. Didn't play well, but still won. There's just a lot to like with the Rangers. They're 12-2-1. They win this game. They now head to Dallas to hopefully extend their streak.